I tried Retatrutide for 8 weeks, so you don't have to, and today I'm going to share with you my results. All right, so I started on the 9th of January, and today is the 19th, so we're 10 days in. Started on a Thursday, so this Thursday is going to make it the 2-week mark. Now, starting weight was 92.9 kilograms, and I weighed in this morning at 89.2. So the first 2 weeks have been very interesting. As someone who was eating, anywhere from 3 to 3,500, sometimes 4,000 calories, having appetite most of the day, it's very interesting how this peptide works. I noticed the first day into it, after the pin, not too much had really changed. It was more the day after that. So sort of the Saturday where I completely didn't even think about eating. Normally I would have breakfast, I'd have a meal, maybe 2 meals, and I would train, then have another 2 meals, whatever. I didn't eat anything all the way to lunchtime, which was around 12:30, 1 o'clock. And the only reason that I did eat was because I looked at the time and thought, oh fuck, I better eat. So I literally had to force myself to eat something. Now, when I say force myself, I don't mean I had to force feed. Like, there was definitely still hunger there. I just didn't think about it, which is very interesting because as someone, as I said, who's eating, 3 to 4,000 calories a day, that hunger is always in your head. You're constantly thinking of food. Now, in terms of training performance and energy so far, being just about 2 weeks in, I've noticed that the training performance hasn't really dipped regardless of the body weight drop. Now, there is 3.7 kilos down, but we need to take into account that, yes, glycogen and water are definitely going to be a thing. So how much of that is body fat? I don't actually know. How much of that is muscle? Probably, unfortunately, a little bit, but a majority of that is going to be water and glycogen. Obviously, because the drop of carbohydrates and water coming into the body, it's naturally that's what's going to drop first. My performance in the gym has actually been pretty good. I am getting stronger, which is interesting. And I do notice that I can actually go to the end of my sessions, whereas before I would gas out, with 1 or 2 exercises left. Now I'm finding I can actually get to the end, which is interesting. It could have something to do with potentially nutrient partitioning, maybe. But as I said, it could be placebo. I don't know. Normally with a triple agonist GLP-1, it normally takes about the 4 to 6 week mark to reach saturated serum levels to actually get the full on effects of all three receptors here. So right now, this is pretty much just the downregulation of ghrelin and dopamine in the brain. So we can't expect to see any magical results as of yet. As someone who has my body compositioning, I'm 6'4". I started at, just about 93 kilos. Do I have a lot of body fat to lose? No, not really. Could I do this naturally? Fucking absolutely I could. But I want to try this peptide and I want to experiment so that I can show you guys what actually happens. Not only that, being a coach myself, I do have many clients that do take GLP-1s. So I've done a lot of research on it. I've done my due diligence. I've spent the time in the trenches researching these peptides, how they work physiologically, so that I know how to coach it, how to get on, how to get off, which is super important. So I thought it's only fair that I put myself through it as well. So I'm going to run it for about 6 to 10 weeks, see what happens. I think 6 weeks is probably a little bit premature. So I'm aiming around the 8 to 10 week mark. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to titrate this peptide up and then how I'm going to titrate it down to get off to reduce a massive rebound when we get an upregulation of ghrelin and dopamine. All right, so starting doses. I'm starting at 1 milligram per week and I'm splitting this up into 2 injections. So we're doing a Tuesday and we're doing a Thursday. Now the half-life of this peptide is around 6 days. So ideally, if you can split it up, you're going to stop that massive crash. So if you're doing just 1 injection, by the time you get around to the next injection, you're going to start to feel that drop off a little bit. So in order to avoid that and actually reduce side effects, so we're going to run 2 smaller doses and we're just going to run them week by week till around the 4-week mark. Once I've assessed what my tolerance is, then I will decide whether or not I titrate up to 2 milligrams or not. If I do titrate to 2 milligrams, I will then break this injection up to 4 doses. So I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, this is going to reduce side effects. It's just going to keep more stable levels in the blood. And it's just going to allow me to stay very leveled and just make sure that the side effects are super low. Now, one of the side effects I've noticed so far after pinning was having acid reflux. Now, this is common for around 15 to 20% of people that do start this peptide. So what I have done to reduce this is I've started taking Gaviscon, I think it's called, which are the chewable tablets. So you just take them and it reduces the acid reflux. I was sleeping on a bit of a wedge elevated so that the acid wasn't coming up. And I've also broken my meals up into smaller meals, a little bit more easily digestible. The main thing that we need to look at here as well is because it does slow gastric emptying. When you have big meals, you're going to notice that it's going to take a lot longer to digest. Obviously, this is what the drug does. So in order to counteract the acid reflux, I've dropped the meals into smaller meals so that my stomach isn't so full for so long. Other than that, I haven't noticed really any other side effects yet. And I don't think I will. I haven't noticed any nausea, any constipation, not really any diarrhea or anything like that. So far, so good. It's just going to be a matter of time now, using the peptide for another couple of weeks, seeing what happens. Now, the reason I'm really doing this video is because I want to be so upfront and honest, and I will tell you point blank every single side effect, what I experience, how it works, and everything, because I find that there's just a lot of fluff around this in the industry, and I'm fucking sick of it. I want people to learn. I want people to know what the fuck they're actually going to take. Now, if you are new to GLP-1s, I would suggest getting your blood work done, speaking to a doctor, and then going from there. If you aren't already exercising, you're not watching your diet, you're not doing any of the basic habits and really collecting that low-hanging fruit, then I probably wouldn't start this yet. I would really get into the gym first, start a good resistance training program, start doing your cardio, do your steps, make sure your sleep is good, make sure your stress is good, make sure that you actually have good habits so that we're not trying to mask it with the drug. So we want to make sure to get the absolute best result possible, that we're ticking every single box in and outside of the gym. Those are the number one things. Now, a little tip that I can give you guys with drugs like this that slow gastric emptying down a lot, you want to make sure that you're really focusing on one, fiber, protein, and water. These three things are going to be what is going to get you through the shitty side effects if you do experience any. And try and stay away from super fatty, oily foods because they will fuck you up and you will feel that shit. And I'm telling you from experience, I had a Portos the other day, I was short on time, whatever, I got a fucking chicken thing, whatever it was. Anyway, I fucking felt like dog shit. It was not worth it. The best thing I should have done would have been to go to the servo and buy myself like a Muscle Chef meal or something that is nicely balanced in protein, carbs, fats, and fiber. Or better yet, I should have had my food prepped and ready to go, which it was just not in my bag. So again, that's on me. It is what it is. And this is why I'm doing this video for full transparency, because not everyone is a professional bodybuilder. I want to show you guys exactly what it looks like on a day-to-day basis with someone who does make mistakes sometimes. Yeah, I do meal prep most of the time. There are times where I fucking forget, or I'm short of time, or I got the kids, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. All these other excuses, whatever. Life happens. It is what it is. However, I know that I'm pretty consistent 95% of the time. So guys, join me for this journey. I'm going to show you full transparency, exactly what the fuck is going on, how I train even, what my eating looks like, cardio, steps, all that sort of stuff. And if I do experience any side effects, you guys are going to be the first to know about it because I'm going to document that shit right here, right now. And now also I think this video is going to be really fucking long, so I'm probably going to break it up maybe to a bunch of different series, like maybe every 2 weeks I'll do a documentation. I don't know, week to week. Who knows? We're just going to see what happens. We're doing this together. If you do have any questions though, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my absolute best to answer them for you. If I don't know, I will A, happily refer you to someone that does, or B, I will further research into it to answer your question. Other than that, guys, come along with me on this journey and I hope you enjoy and I hope you can learn something and take something away from this.